Oh, you're pretty good, Jesse. But Fats is better. Fats is the best. I'll give you a chance at my crown, Jesse. But only if you're willing to stake your life on the game, Jesse. I'm only a pool player. But I'm the best. You were the best.
Howdy folks, and welcome once again to the Spaghetti Theater for the Spaghetti Theater Review, where once again I will be exploring another original Twilight Zone episode, and this time it's one of my personal favorites. Season 3's A Game of Pool, starring Quincy before he was Quincy, and even before he was Oscar Madison. It's Jack Klugman, or Klugman. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I'm gonna go with Klugman, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And also stars Mork and Mindy's old man baby, Jonathan Winters, as a knockoff Minnesota Fats from The Hustler, and no one else. That's it, folks. A cast of 2. Just like in this season's first episode, 2. Or season 5's The Encounter, or A Nervous Man in the $4 Room, or there's even one episode that only had one character, The Invaders. This is Crispin number 5, by the way. He's a beanie belly. Say hi, Crispin.
Howdy, folks.
So yeah, A Game of Pool. As a fan of the Game of Pool, I can appreciate this episode. I love to play pool. It's a fun game. However, I suck. I just do it for the enjoyment. So fast Eddie Felson, I am not. 5-year-olds have kicked my ass at pool, but I don't care. It's still a fun game. I love the feel of the atmosphere. Only I don't think I would bet my life on a game of pool like Jack Klugman does with Jonathan Winters in this episode of the Twilight Zone, just so he can be the #1 pool player of all time. Just like Antonio Banderas and Sylvester Stallone in that movie Assassins. Remember that? Probably not. It's all about being the best at what you do, even if it costs you everything, including your life. I might bet my life on a game of Fireball Island though, even though it's mostly a game of chance.
I would bet my life and all of my brother's lives on a game of Mousetrap.
Really, Crispin? Huh. You must be a real mousetrap connoisseur.
I'm the best. No one can beat me. There's a picture of me hanging up at the local Mousetrap Hall. I swear it's it.
Sure, Crispin. You said the same thing last week about Battleship.
That was Crispin number 6. He bet his life on a game of Battleship and lost.
Well, that explains his disappearance then, doesn't it? So this is it, folks. The Twilight Zone's A Game of Pool. Crack! With that Season 3's swirly circle opening thing. Woo! That makes me want to pass out, cause snap!
That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
You're in the Twilight Zone now, bitch! So cut to this pool hall, where Jack Klugman brags to no one.
See what I mean? The right English, the right draw, perfect position, right?
About how great of a pool player he is, cause yeah, this place is empty and he's going on like someone else is here. Unless he's talking to us, the viewer at home.
I'm the best pool cue on Randolph Street, me!
Or the unseen pool hall owner, maybe. Who knows? No one ever responds to him. And get used to this pool hall, because the entire episode takes place here. Again, like The Encounter and A Nervous Man in the $4 Room. So good, sharp writing is crucial here, folks. So Klugman, who's playing a pool shark named Jesse Cardiff, by the way.
Jesse Cardiff, and you know that.
Goes on about how he's always being compared to the great Fats Brown. The best pool player around. Or ever, I guess.
Fats was good. I mean, he was good.
And you'll never be as good as him, Jesse Cardiff of Randolph Street. So Jesse goes on, quite loudly too, as he storms over to this picture on the wall of the great Fats Brown, and even explains to nobody that Fats Brown has been dead for 15 years, and he's sick of hearing about it.
You hear me? He's dead. He's been dead for over 15 years.
He's dead. Dead and buried.
And buried in the ground.
In the ground. Yeah, the ground. Well, duh. Where else would he be buried? In space? He wasn't buried by a building like Murdoch. So then Jesse then announces that he would give anything to play one game with the great dead Fats Brown.
I'd give anything to play him one game.
Cause he would wipe the floor with his fat ass. So cut to heaven, cause that's where Fats is. You still get to be fat even when you're dead. As he plays pool on top of this cloud, since apparently he's now on call to any dipshit in the living world who verbally challenges him to a game of pool.
Report to Lister's Pool Room, Randolph Street, Chicago.
Sounds more like hell after a while. Defending the title and all, even when you're dead. So Heaven's PA system orders Fats Brown to pack up his pool cue and get his ass down to Randolph Street, Earth, USA. Oscar Madison has challenged you to a game of pool, so he complies. Only not very quickly. Pick up the pace, Mr. Fats.
Fats Brown.
They don't call him Fats Brown just because he's morbidly obese. Oh wait, they probably do. It's the early 60s, so he's just a doughy guy. So cut back to Jesse. Back on Earth, where he's still going on to no one about how much better he is than Fats Brown.
If you were here, Fats Brown, I'd show you who was the best.
And still begs to play one game against a fat bastard.
One lousy game.
So snap.
At your service.
Wow, is it? Could it be? It is! It's the ghost of Babe Ruth. Ah, no, wait, no it's not. Wrong fat guy. He's here now, in this dark corner by the payphone. Heaven's like the Matrix, I guess. They can travel by payphone. Do you think you heard me call him a fat bastard? As Jesse's reaction to this is the sudden arrival of a dead pool player, speechless. So swing over to Rod Serling, who's naturally hanging out in this very pool hall, to explain everything. He's not speechless. He's used to this kind of shit.
Jesse Cardiff, pool shark. The best on Randolph Street.
Is that who Jack Klugman was talking to? So Rod's here, playing a game of pool alone. Unless you count his cigarette, of course. His best friend. I'll play pool with you, Rod.
Me too.
So Rod's here to warn us that this pool shark is about to find out that being the best at anything isn't all that it's chalked up to be. It's not all having your picture on the wall of a random pool hall, cause this pool hall on Randolph Street happens to be smack dab in the middle of the Twilight Zone, bitches. Then this weird trumpet solo. The hell was that, Rod? Did Klugman just transform into his character from A Passage for a Trumpet? Another Twilight Zone episode he was in? Cause yeah, he was in like 4 of these. So cut to Fats Brown, the ghost of.
You called?
As Jesse says, hey, ain't you dead, fatty?
Dead?
Only nope. There's life beyond, and yeah, the spirit does live on because hey, he's here, asshole.
As long as people talk about you, you're not really dead.
Really? People talk about Adolf Hitler all the time. Look out, world.
Oh, it's impossible.
Impossible, he says. But hey, the proof is in the fatty before you.
Nothing's impossible.
So yeah, nothing's impossible. I'm all for that.
Some things are less likely than others.
That too. So Jesse compares him to that photo on the wall, and yup, it's his doughy ass, alright. I would know that Davis Rules grin from anywhere. So Fats introduces himself and explains why he's called Fats, which is pretty obvious.
James Howard Brown. Known to my friends as Fats.
Fats. Some friends, they sound like a bunch of fat shamers. But hey, you're the one who couldn't lay out the donuts, Fatty McFat Fat. Now I'm doing it. I can't help it. There are so many fat people in my family. Is good intentioned fat shaming a thing? No, I don't think it is.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, Jonathan Winters isn't really that fat. Not here. Not compared to 2025 standards. My 600-pound life, he's a tad doughy. Why do they call him Fats?
So anyway, Fats is all like, hey Jack Klugman of Randolph Street. You called my ass down here, remember?
I'd give anything to play him one game.
So Jesse responds by saying he was just talking shit. So Fats says, screw it then, I'm going back to heaven. Via the Matrix payphone.
Deep down, you know that you're second rate.
You second-rate Oscar Madison. Snap! This really gets Jesse riled up too, as Fats goes on.
You're not as good as you claim, and you know it.
Telling him that he deeply knows that he can't beat him. Thus all the big talk. He came all the way down here from Cloud 9, Jesse. So don't chicken out now. It's the chance you've been begging for. So Fats pretty much calls him a pussy.
But when the heat's on, you fold.
So Jesse jumps to his own defense, bragging again about how he could beat his ass.
That isn't fair. You never seen me play. Maybe I can beat you. It's possible, isn't it?
Only not by running your mouth, Fats points out.
But you'll never get the job done with your mouth.
Jesse sees Fats simply as the record holder, who needs beating, like trying to get the highest score on Space Invaders. So it's your initials at the top of the high score screen. Jesse then points out that his legendary status is probably filled with lies.
Nah, you're like all the other legends. You live on a reputation.
Like all legends.
He had more imagination than brains, huh?
A lot of it's a bunch of shit, cause when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Fats Brown killed 50 men. 50. After the pool game was won.
He was like Moses through the Red Sea.
So Jesse says, fuck it. I'll play your fat ass.
And what about the stakes?
What are the stakes, fat man?
The stakes?
And I don't mean the kind you can eat, you food factory.
And what about the stakes? A little something to make the game more interesting.
Fat shame. Snap. Jesse offers up all of his cash. Only no, you idiot. He's dead. Money is useless to him. The vending machines in heaven are free.
What good is money to me?
You have to make it worth his trip from heaven to earth. And you did say that you would give anything for a chance to play the great Fats Brown. And here it is. And what are the stakes that Fats offers up?
You beat me, and you live. You lose, and you die.
Well, life or death, of course. Didn't see that one coming. So if you beat Fats, you live. If you lose, then he shoves his famous pool cue straight through your heart, I guess. And Jesse, mind blown. So how much faith do you have in yourself, Jesse Cardiff?
The best on Randolph Street.
The best on Randolph Street? Fats says he would have jumped at that kind of chance in his day.
Why, when I was your age, I would have jumped at the chance.
Since he's not a second-rate loser like you, Jesse.
You better watch yourself.
Fats Brown has class for a doughy guy. He respects the game of pool.
I'm just a pool player. There's probably no less important thing on the face of the earth.
He may be just a simple pool player, but he's the best at it.
But mark this in your book. I'm the best.
So he starts to leave again. So Jesse stops him, so he can brag about his dedication to the game of pool.
Do you know how many hours, how many years, how much of myself I put into this game?
Ever since he was a kid, the game of pool became his life. The moment he walked into this very pool hall, he beat some old yokel. He knew that this was his destiny, and that he would dedicate his entire life to it. Like Nikola Tesla, only with pool, not electricity. Jesse even lived inside this pool hall.
How many nights I slept on that table right there? Yeah, I did that.
Cut off any kind of outside life.
I haven't been to the movies in years.
No movies! So he never saw 12 Angry Men? That came out only like 4 years ago. Guess he was too busy being in it. Snap! He was juror number 5.
I haven't dated a girl, read a book.
And no girls. They distract you from the game. Fuck one of the corner pockets on the table if you get horny, I guess. Oh, and no books, too.
I haven't dated a girl, read a book.
No big loss there. I haven't read a book in years. So what? So he doesn't know how The Hobbit ends. Whoop-dee shit. That won't help his pool skills anyway.
Because it would take time away from the game.
So Jesse keeps swearing up and down that he's the best, goddammit. So Fats tells him a little story. That's moral is pretty much...
You never make the great at anything by playing it safe.
Losers play it safe, Jesse.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Put your life on the line. So after that, Jesse has finally been pushed into it. So rack him up so they can get this game of life and death started. As Fats puts on all his pool player effects. Like his stupid half-hat visor thing. And of course, his famous $600 pool cue. Custom made that he's had his entire pool playing career.
Made for me, special.
Which he proudly brags about.
It cost $600.
It was forged on top of Mount Doom by Tom Cruise and Paul Newman. And according to Ziggy's calculations here, 'cause I'm horrible at math, adjusted for inflation, Fat says he paid $600 for that custom-made pool cue 35 years ago.
Yep, I made my living with it for 35 years.
Plus the 15 years that he's been dead is 50.
You hear me? He's dead. He's been dead for over 15 years.
Minus that from 1961. meaning he bought it in 1911, meaning he paid what would be $18,500 for a fucking pool cue in 1911. Wow, Fats, you're one dedicated ass pool player. Good for you, I guess.
Name the game.
So name the game, Klugman. It's pool time. So they flip a coin, but before it's revealed, Fats gives Jesse one last chance to back up.
Change your mind? You can, you know. I was required to say that.
Required? By who? God? Jesus and John the Baptist? Who? Only Fat Chance, Fats. He's all in. So Fats wins the flip, so it's his break first, which he barely does. Just to fuck with Jesse, he barely nudges the ball. So it's not much of a break.
A perfect break and no advantage given. Now it's your turn to scatter them.
Thanks for that, you fat, clever asshole. Jesse tries to repay the favor by knocking the white ball way the hell over here at the other end of the table. Do something with that shit, you tub of fuck. So he calls the 15 ball and misses. Well, so Jesse steps up and starts sinking balls and expects Fats to be amazed.
How about that, fat boy?
Only no, he's not.
Not bad.
He's thinking about Twinkies. Jesse then starts bragging again about what a great pool player he is. My God, we get it, buddy.
That was great. I knew I had an eye for this game.
What happened to it?
So stop bragging, dipshit, because it's Fat's turn to run the table now. And he uses geometry to start sinking balls.
A science of precise angles and forces.
Sinking balls. Ding. You love that term? Sinking balls. Yeah. Sinking balls, baby.
Sinking balls!
So it goes back and forth like this for a while, as they each prove to be good pool players, but not perfect. They're flawed people. So then after a long bout of games, Jesse racks him up for the next one. They're playing first to 300 points, and Jesse's way ahead.
I've got 59, you've got 7 points.
So he thinks he's a shoo-in now. Only Fats was just getting warmed up, and he starts catching up real fast.
Sinking balls!
Until they're nearly neck and neck. The score is now 299 to 296.
See the score? I got 299, you got 296.
All Jesse has to do is sink one damn ball and he wins.
Well, I need that one to win.
Fats needs to sink 4. So Jesse takes a shot and misses. So close, yet so far. So Fat steps up and sinks 3. Bing, bang, boom, and misses the 4th, evening out the scores. So Fats takes this opportunity to tell Jesse that he's wasting his life doing this shit the way he's doing it.
There's more to life than this pool hall.
Which he sorta is.
I haven't been to the movies in years.
No movies? Really, buddy? Not everybody's in the movies, I know. Although he doesn't seem like a very happy guy. Fats points out that he took time to have a life outside a pool.
I've been places where they never heard of billiards. I may not look the part, Jesse, but I've made love, walked uphill, swam in the ocean.
He's been laid and he's been to Vegas. Even seen a movie or two. Jesse ignores this and concentrates carefully as he makes this all-important shot. And Fats drops his pool cue to distract him. And he fucks up the shot. Ha!
Kid stuff. To make you break your concentration, you get wild.
Yeah, calm down, Jesse. Borderline cheating is okay in the pool hall world. It's Fat's turn now. Only he misses again and sets Jesse up for the winning shot.
The game ball.
The game ball. And he knows it. Such an easy shot, too.
It's a pocket hanger.
All he has to do is sink that one ball, and he's the greatest pool player who ever lived.
I think that. I become the greatest.
Well, at least on Randolph Street, USA. And Fats is starting to sweat now, because dead people can do that. So Jesse starts to give him some shit.
You're sweating. Why are you so nervous?
Only, I'm sure this guy sweats all the time, even though he's dead. He rubs it in his face that he's about to take his title, even though there's no one here to witness it but you and this ghost of the guy you're playing. And maybe Rod Serling, unless he's gone home for the evening. You still here, Rod? Rod? I think you hear somebody on the shitter. Maybe he's out back smoking a butt, I don't know. Now you can smoke in here, it's still the 60s. I saw him smoking at the beginning. Wherever you are, Rod, don't go too far. You still have to do the closing narration, alright? Whatever.
I've been to LA and I've been to Mexico. And I've been laid.
Jesse then gives him shit for making him put his life on the line.
But only if you're willing to stake your life on the game, Jesse.
And starts talking about nice, friendly games of pool, which Fats points out he's not capable of.
To you, pool is not a nice, friendly game. It's a win-at-any-price affair.
A nice, friendly game of pool? You're a winner-take-all, I have to be number one a-hole. You just want to be the best at something so you can brag about it all the time. You don't give a fuck about the game like Fats does. It's all about winning with you. So Fats drops an inspirational speech on it. It's a good speech, too, and one of the best parts of the episode.
You see, the champions, the legends, they serve as a purpose.
And it's coming from Jonathan Winters, too, who's normally associated with more comedic roles, as he goes on about how a person can become the best at something, only to show the next generation what he has done.
Match what I've done, boy, and make it better.
And now it's your turn to make it better. And it works that way in all walks of life. In all things. Not just pool, everything we do in life.
Music, politics, sports, you name it.
Match what I've done, boy, and make it better. Well said. The world needs heroes. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba, da-da-da. When he was alive, he was Fats Brown. A simple pool player, yes?
But I'm the best.
Only he was the best. So Jesse steps up to change all that for good.
You were the best.
And goes to make that final winning shot. But not before Fats warns him.
Wait a minute, Jesse. Shoot that ball, and you may win more than you bargained for.
By order of God, Jesus, John the Baptist, and Pontius Pilate too. But not the real Pontius Pilate. The Telly Savalas Pontius Pilate from The Greatest Story Ever Told. That if he makes this shot, he may win more than he bargained for.
There's nothing you can say that will stop me.
I was required to say that.
Only nothing's gonna stop him now, so he shoots and scores. And wins, of course, as a relieved Fats smiles. As Jesse jumps across the table and kisses that game ball. He's officially the best at something, and rubs it right in his face.
I beat you. I'm the best.
So Fat thanks him as he unscrews his pool cue.
Thanks.
His $600 fucking pool cue, aka $18,500 today pool cue. I wouldn't spend that much money on a pool cue. That's like going to the store today and saying, can I get a pool cue for $18,500? Man, buy a fucking car for that. So Jesse's gonna live, and now wants to know why Fats is thanking him.
Then what's with the thanks, fat boy?
You'll find out when the time comes for you to leave Randolph Street.
Well, he'll have to wait until he leaves Randolph Street. Meaning, when he finally actually does die. So Jesse takes that remark as Fats being a sore loser.
You sore loser.
So keeps letting him know that he just beat his ass.
I beat you.
Goes right over to the wall, takes down Fats' picture, turns around, and he's gone. Like a fart in the wind. Disappeared back to heaven, leaving only the musky odor of potato chips behind, via the Matrix payphone. So, was he even really there? Or was all of that a hallucination in Jesse's head, brought on from depriving himself of so much sleep all these years, obsessing over the game of pool? Only you saw it.
Well, you saw it, didn't you?
Who, Klugman? Us? The audience?
I beat the king of the hill, Fats Brown.
You're still the only one here and Rod's not answering. But who cares? Jesse Cardiff is now the best. And he knows it. And that's all that matters.
Because nobody's ever gonna take it away from me. Nobody ever.
So what if there are no witnesses? Jesse Cardiff of Randolph Street is the best. And he'll stay the best, damn it.
Jesse Cardiff. Jesse Cardiff.
So cut to many years later, in heaven again, where now Jesse has taken Fats' place as greatest pool player ever, and forced to defend his title for all eternity until somebody beats him.
Report at once to Mason's Pool Hall, Sandusky, Ohio.
So that was the catch, as Rod explains.
But it was found out after his funeral that being the best of anything carries with it a special obligation to keep on proving it.
And as for Fats Brown,
Mr. Fats Brown, on the other hand, having relinquished the champion's mantle, has gone fishing. These are the ground rules in the Twilight Zone.
yeah, he's fishing in heaven. They have fishing there too. Fishing for what? A quarter pounder with cheese? Snap, fetch him. Those are the ground rules in the Twilight Zone, Rod says. So So tough shit. There are ground rules in the Twilight Zone too, folks. And that's the end of the episode. That was a game of pool in the Twilight Zone, which leads me into my final thoughts on this well-written episode. It could have been a play. It has only 2 characters in it and all takes place in the same room. It was written by Twilight Zone regular George Clayton Johnson, who wrote 7 episodes of the series. And he wrote the novel Logan's Run that the movie was based on. He lived from 1929 to 2015. May you rest in peace, George Clayton Johnson. And in his original script, Jesse lost the game. Only Fats didn't kill him. He would die like all losers like him die. Just another idiot. Because had he won the game, he would have lived forever. They even filmed this ending, but changed it at the last minute to the one we know now. Then there are the 2 stars. Jack Klugman, who would go on to play Oscar Madison in the TV version of The Odd Couple. Then after that, years later, he would play Quincy, medical examiner. And this was his second of 4 Twilight Zone appearances. He was in every season except season 2. Then there's Jonathan Winters as Fats Brown, who did a great job in this role, in my opinion. Of course. I remember him from It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. I also remember him from the short-lived 90s TV series, Davis Rules. Anybody remember that? But mostly, I will always remember him as Mork and Mindy's kid on Mork and Mindy. Because on Mork and Mindy, Orkins are born old. Yeah, and then they progressively get younger like Benjamin Button. And with that, I'll end my look at this very well done episode of The Twilight Zone, a game of pool. Click. A big thanks again to all my subscribers. Getting close to 1,000 now. And thanks for all those comments. Always nice to hear from people. So adios for now. Crispin and I are playing the marble grabbing game to the death. Right, Crispin?
As long as you're alive, I will never be number 1.
We'll see about that, number 5. Bye, folks, and I'll see you at the theater.
In LA and I've been to Mexico. And I've been laid.